Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the United Star and to the third episode of Starcast. Finally, Rishi Chauhan has decided to come back, and he's there. So, Rishi, let's start off with you. What do you think of the two players that we've been linked with now in Regulion and obviously with Sancho? It looks like it's going to happen in 5 days, 4 days, all of it again. Do you think it's actually going to happen this time?
Look, Prasham, I can't say for sure what's going to happen, but I can tell you this: we need this, and not only do we need it for the sake of positions, but the atmosphere around United is not what we want going into the next season. This season when we signed Pogba and Mourinho, there was a real buzz about the team at that season, and we don't have that right now. All the buzz is with Chelsea, and trust me, this plays on the minds of everyone, the fans, the players, and I think overall, besides the need of them in different positions, we need this boost for our emotions, for our mentality, and it's going to make the locker room very happy, in my opinion.
Today I don't want to spend. I think I agree with you. We need Jadon Sancho because it's basically going out there in the market and saying that we are Man United at the end of the day. And I think Regulon is another interesting option because he fills that left back role, and Luke Shaw is so injury prone that we need him. And if we decide to play three at the back, I think Luke Shaw can swat into like left centre back, and Regulon can play left wing back as well. And at his age, I think he's a
Prashant,
brilliant.
Prashant, I want to get in there and want to mention two things about Manchester United. Just because we're talking about transfers, I know we don't want to make this a big transfer saga kind of a video, but what we need to know is we need to see what Chelsea are doing. Right now, it's an inflated market. If you look at it, we managed to sign Van de Beek and managed to sign Bruno for a price less than Grealish in the total market, right? It just shows the difference in capacity. If you're getting someone like Van de Beek for a price less than Fred, it shows that the market has reduced. So at this time, it's where if we have the money, we can flex our muscles. There's a reason, Liverpool are waiting for Wijnaldum to go and then get Thiago in because they cannot flex their muscles right now. So I think the full rumor about Sancho, United want him to be in Manchester to shoot some big video so that it's similar to the Kai Havertz kind of video that Chelsea put out is something I am willing to believe and I think can happen. And as far as the Real Madrid left back goes, I don't see him as a big improvement to Luke Shaw. Maybe when it comes to attacking fronts, yes, but I don't see him being better than Luke Shaw defensively.
Right, right. But I think we need him for squad depth, if nothing else. We need another
So,
wing
but then
back.
where does Brandon Williams go? Isn't he your
So
squad depth?
we need someone to slot in a right back as well.
Yeah.
Timothy
So Brandon.
Fosu-Mensah as well.
Exactly. So Fosu Mensah and Brandon Williams, Regulion is a big upgrade on that. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone can argue that. So I think in terms of a Manchester United team, we need those kind of players. But let's move it along. I think we've had a lot of transfer talk and everyone's been talking about it. Let's move it along a little bit to the Nations League. And Mason Greenwood made his debut for England, and that's exciting news. And also, Mason Greenwood came on for England. England got a penalty. Martial came on for France. France got a penalty. So the United players are at it, guys. They're doing it for their national teams as well. Priyan, what is your view of the Nations League and some of any games that you thought were particularly interesting?
I didn't happen to catch any of the games, but I've just sort of been hearing about the games. I think England again, Gareth Southgate, that idiot with. I think he has the best attack he's had in the English team has had in the past 20 years, I think. And he played. Who did he? I don't even know who he played. It's just shocking. I don't know what he's doing with England. Uh, Mason Greenwood, I mean, really good for him. He's really deserved it. So happy for him. Martial again back into the France squad. Again, very good for him. I think Lindelof sort of messed up for the goal they conceded. So he's performing well again. Normal. He's not changed at all. But otherwise, I think it's good. It's good, positive.
No, so
I
like
think
I've been following the Nations League and I want to like give few shout outs De Gea. I mean everyone says that
yeah,
De Gea is trash when he makes a mistake, but I saw him play that game against Germany.
yeah,
8 saves is fabulous. I mean,
Also, Vishay,
why?
just to come in here, Luis Enrique made this point that every time De Gea makes a mistake, he's frontline news that, oh, David De Gea is finished. And
Yeah,
every time, then he said that every time David De Gea has a game like this, it should be front page news that David De Gea is still the best in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That I was just going to come to that, and it's I think 2 months back when he made that Chelsea error in the FA Cup semi-final, I was furious and I was like Henderson in, De Gea out. But what I'm realizing is the possible potential that we could bring out of De Gea with the pressure of Henderson. Maybe with Romero, he knew that I'm always going to play the Premier League. Romero's never going to take my spot. But with Henderson, he's seen a proved goalkeeper, and I think he's realized that he needs to fight for his number one spot. The number one spot isn't fixed anymore. So I think De Gea's performance for Spain was exceptional. Uh, adding to that, I think if we add England, Greenwood, obviously, congratulations to him. Great thing, much deserved, as Priyan said. So Martial, I mean, that would have been a goal, but Lindelof has to foul him because, well, Lindelof is Lindelof. But yeah, I think we had
But Vikesh, the biggest
Bruno
shout
made an
out Bruno
assist.
Fernandes.
Bruno
Made
has
an
got it.
assist. Bruno
Absolutely,
made an
he
assist.
absolutely destroyed that Croatian team single-handedly. The man's first touch, the passing, the way he was switching play. I mean, Croatia, given that it wasn't the squad that played the World Cup final, but Portugal absolutely destroyed Croatia. And it's I'm telling you that Portuguese squad on talent is comparable to the French squad, and that in itself is saying something. They have talent oozing out of all places. Ruben Neves was on the bench. Ronaldo didn't play. Patricio was on the bench. Some of their main defenders weren't playing. Cancelo's goal was absolutely brilliant. On another day, they could have scored like 7 goals that night. I think Portugal are a real team to like sort of fear. And I mean, it was fantastic to watch them. Also, congratulations to Fernandez on his child being born. I think probably be
Yeah.
happier now, I guess.
Well, Prashant, we forgot one more player. Van de Beek, our new red, made an appearance for 15 to 20 minutes for Netherlands. And I've been seeing that one clip of him running and cutting the defense with the defensive line. I mean, I'm really excited for this player, and I think the Reds have done well on international. On
I
international.
have Vishesh, I have a alternate view on this. I was a little worried because I thought he played too far on the right, and I didn't think he had a particularly good 15 minutes, but it was just 15 minutes, so there's nothing much to say about
I
that.
mean, if you look at the
Let's
highlights, it's just that
the
one clip
Nations League,
running down.
and let me bring Rishi here. Rishi, when you joined the United staff after the first video, did you feel like tearing up the contract, or is it that just something that happens to Alexis Sanchez?
Man, I don't know, Prashant. I don't know what to tell you about this, man.
I
Hey,
like
Rafael said the right thing. I think he saw Ghost in the first day of training, and I think that's why he wanted to go back to Arsenal. But I mean, if I just feel that if you're a professional footballer, you might not feel that you're a part. I mean, whatever it is, you still go out and you give it your best, and he didn't do that. So he has no right to come out and say stuff like that. Honestly,
I mean, he falls under the snake category, guys. It's as simple as that. Di Maria did it. He came for the money. He left. Sanchez did it. He came for the money. So basically, he's made it very clear he just came for the money. He never wanted to join the
yeah.
club.
And
So Sanchez,
it's not that he was forced out of Arsenal or anything. He didn't go for training. That's not professional. He skipped training. He threw tantrums and he came to
no,
United.
I
And
mean,
if you
Sanchez going to Inter Milan and making that statement on your Instagram doesn't throw any
yeah,
shade on Manchester
and
United. It
playing for
just
Inter
throws
Milan, I
shade.
mean,
It just throws shade on your own professional career and the way you're treating yourself because you were one top player. And to come out and just bitch about a certain club this way is not what we expect of player of your caliber.
I think he came out and said that I wanted to tear my contract up after the first training session. After the first 2 or 3 games, the feeling was mutual. We also wanted to tear his contract up. So I don't blame him. I think it's okay. I think
And
it's
then,
great that he came.
there's this meme of a car going by, and this guy has Greenwood with a poster saying, "You wanted to tear your contract, well, your dogs are dead now."
But
But
yeah, so
guys,
another
he's
United
not the
man.
first player to do this. Di Maria's done this. Tevez has done this with a major disrespect in that parade. So, I mean,
No,
I
but
think
I mean, Tevez's thing was he didn't know what he was saying. At least that's what
yeah.
I've heard. That he was just
Tevez
given
did
that
perform
poster
for
and he
United.
didn't know what.
Tevez
How
did
did
perform for United after
Tevez?
Tevez held up a
Tevez
poster saying RIP Fergie, and apparently he didn't know what RIP stood for.
Yeah. So I mean, we can give him the benefit of the doubt just because he was part of a trio that really killed it in the Premier League.
Exactly.
But
Di Maria nor Sanchez did anything worthwhile at United.
yeah, so
Let's
that is
hope that in 5 or 6 days we'll be talking about a number 7 who actually wants to play for the club and can actually perform.
Yeah.
But I
yeah.
think this is
Telling
one
me, are you
topic
telling
that
me
all.
Machera's coming back?
But Rishi, I'm going to get to a topic that I think all football fans have been talking about since the past week or two. All or nothing, or since it was a Spurs documentary, it could have been called nothing because there's never any all there.
No,
But
I think you're watching it just for Mourinho. I mean,
yeah,
if there's a show and Mourinho is a part of it, how can you not like? How can it not be the best thing that's happened
Dude,
that year?
dude, you know
It's just
what? I was seeing it and I saw the first episode and I'm like, okay, they're showing, after game results. So I'm waiting for that Manchester United game to come. So they show him lose or something like that to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And all they do is after the game, they show what the atmosphere is the next day in their or
yeah.
whatever training group. And they're like, this is the first game. We just lost on being bad asses. I'm like, no, bro, you got outplayed. You didn't lose because you guys were bad. I mean, you didn't have the bad boys attitude with you. You lost because you all suck. It's as simple as that.
But but I actually like watching that. I like Jose Mourinho even more, man. The way he goes like, oh, Walker or Peters, and he goes like, oh, Walker Peters, like too long for me. It's like, okay, you're going to play for Southampton and you're never playing for Spurs again. That doesn't sell here. Daily Ali, oh, you're a lazy fuck when it comes to trading. Oh, you're useless. Goes on to Harry Kane and basically comes and tells him, I've won trophies. You haven't learned how to win trophies from me. Absolutely brilliant. Like Jose Mourinho's blockbuster. Like I can imagine Amazon Prime when they sacked Pochettino, they probably lobbied Levi. They probably paid him like 50 million pounds more and like get Mourinho in, and we'll get like a proper documentary on our. I mean, Jose Mourinho is prime time. Jose Mourinho is blockbuster. Nobody beats Jose Mourinho.
Dude, but can you
No, Pranav,
imagine
on a
if
more serious note, I think Jose Mourinho represents the last of what I'd like to call the golden age of managers. We had the Wengers, we had the Fergies, and I think he's one of the last few who are a character. Like who are aggressive and passionate on the outside, but inside everyone loves that manager and will fight for that manager. At least if they
Yeah.
agree with the manager. So for me, he represents one of the last few characters that we have. And that's not to say like Klopp and all aren't characters, but Mourinho is like a different level of a character, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Let me put into perspective. Fergie won the Cup Winners' Cup with Aberdeen. He beat Bayern Munich, Barcelona, and Real Madrid to win that. Forget all his achievements at United. That in itself is probably the greatest thing any manager has ever done. It doesn't get talked about enough. Mourinho won the Champions League with Porto and Inter. And Arsene Wenger redefined the way Premier League football is played. Yes, Guardiola is great, but let's see him do it on a cold day at Stoke, no? On a rainy day at Stoke. Let's
it's
see
not
him do
only
See
it.
him
about
do
that,
it with
let's
an average squad. Let's see
yeah,
him do it with no
exactly,
money.
exactly,
Let's see him.
exactly.
I mean, take over a team like which doesn't have money. Show us
I mean,
that you
look
can
at it now. Look at
show
it
your
now.
tactical genius there. I mean,
Look at it now. What Prayan is saying. I mean, they lost one season. They've gone out and got
yeah,
Nathan Ake. They've gone out and
yeah.
got Ferran Torres.
He's
They're
always had the
going out
money.
and getting
Money's never been a
Koulibaly.
problem for him.
I mean, we haven't yet spoken about the Messi part where Messi has stated everything, and we'll get to that. But apparently, Messi was going to City as
City.
well. That is insanity. I mean, you're spending as if money grows on trees. Bro, give me some of that money. I'll pay my tuition. थोड़ा सा दे दे भाई.
It's true.
It's
Because
wild.
that's the thing, right? And also with Jurgen Klopp, right? He does well for 2-3 seasons, and then the fourth season is always a failure. So this is the test for Jurgen Klopp. What he does this season will define him. There is a reason why Sir Alex Ferguson is the greatest manager. He won the Premier League 3 times in a row, 2 times. I mean, people don't do that. People don't do that. Guardiola found out how difficult it is to do. Mourinho has not been able to do that. But Mourinho, first season at Chelsea, 15 goals conceded. I'd like to see Guardiola do that after spending a country's GDP on his defense.
Yeah, for sure.
Spot on, Prashant. But like I mentioned Messi, and
And
I think we need to talk about this.
So,
I
Vijay, just
understand
before
that.
you get to that, the All or Nothing documentary, I think Amazon Prime
I think we lost
opposite
Prashant.
Old Trafford saying, ever wondered what is up to? And I think that's absolutely glorious. It was an unbelievable advert. But yeah, let's get on to what Leo Messi has said. I think it's headline news coming from a top player at Barcelona.
No, I
I think
mean,
it
I
just
think
goes on to show what a chaos Barca is in right now. You have their main player coming out, and Barca didn't know about this interview until it came out of the media. So he's held a private media conference, and he's gone out and spoken against the club. He's said that they have no plan, no project, no planning, nothing. It's just you're filling in the holes as and when you see them. So it's just the club is in shambles right now. I don't know
No,
what they're
but
going to do.
don't you see that happening even at Madrid? I mean, they anyways know it's a two-team kind of league. I'm not sure about this. I'm just asking. It's like a
No,
two-team
no.
kind of league, and they're just getting whichever player they can. Because
Yeah, but
when we thought
yeah, but
Coutinho
you
was
know,
going to
with
Barcelona, we thought that was a brilliant buy, right? Now
No one
I
thought
get
it was
it.
a brilliant buy at 140 million. I
No,
didn't think
not
it
as
was
a
a
yeah,
hundred
brilliant
and
buy at 140 million.
I'm not talking of price. I'm talking as a player joining the squad. I thought Coutinho would do
yeah,
really well at
but
Barcelona
but
with the likes of.
but did you ever think Griezmann was the right fit for Barca?
No,
I
no,
never thought that.
I never thought like
Griezmann was never a fit.
I think what
Miralem Pjanic
happened.
is a 31-year-old who's going
No, no,
to.
no. Brian, I
I
think
agree with both of y'all here. I think Griezmann would have been the
Yeah,
perfect fit if
I
he had
agree
the
with
balls to
Prashant
put
over here.
Suarez out.
Yeah,
I think Griezmann would be a fit in
no,
any team, in my
but
opinion.
that's the point, right? Barca won't ready to let Suarez move on. If you're
But
going to
now, is
get
that a
someone as
Barcelona problem or is that a Messi problem? Because Messi and Suarez, I don't know what they do, what kind of pictures they have of each other. But Messi cannot seem to get enough of Suarez. Suarez is done as a primetime striker. With no
yeah,
disrespect to what he is and what he's done in the game of football, apart from the fact that he's racist, absolutely brilliant striker, man. And Antoine
no, but
Griezmann, you're talking about the best player in the world on his day. Euros player of the tournament, World Cup runners up, second player, best player in the tournament. Without Griezmann, that French team does not tick. That guy is absolutely fantastic. So to say that he doesn't fit the Barca system is wrong. The problem is that they didn't shelve Suarez. They weren't
yeah,
willing to do that.
no, but Prashant, it again comes down to that, right? Now when we're talking about the full Messi scenario, uh, they've got the new manager and he's all right. He's going out and saying, we want this guy out of the team. We want certain players out of the team. Vidal is apparently going on a free to Inter. Suarez is most likely going to be cut off. So I see there will be certain amount of changes. And I have a question for you all. Does this feel like the stage where when Manchester United were just bringing big gun and big names in to get short sales? Do you think Barcelona did something similar to that?
I'd say so. I'd say so. Also, the manager Vishesh you're talking about is Ronald Koeman. The
exactly.
credentials of Ronald Koeman as a manager itself are questionable. This
No,
this
no, no.
whole thing,
Have you seen
ex-players.
It's just
Prasham? Have you seen who they've been linked with? Wijnaldum and Memphis Depay.
Memphis
I mean,
Depay.
he wants to convert that into the Dutch side. So I think we'll have Wolves as Portugal and Barca as Dutch. Perfect.
I just feel the Barca season, the next season is a sort of, they have a clean slate right now. They can. Uh, I think Messi is going to leave if they don't perform well. I think if it's another Champions League exit, I think he's going to leave for free. That's a no-brainer. But if they perform well, maybe he stays. But still I'm going to say that I think he's going to leave next season, irrespective of who is the
But
president right
but
now.
I have a little different view on this that I think Messi also is a lot to blame in what has gone on at Barcelona. I think people are giving him too much sort of sympathy as to Messi lost 8-2. Well, Messi was on the pitch when they lost 8-2, right? What happened to his leadership? What happened to all of that? We slated Harry Maguire for his leadership. What happened to that? And forget that Leo Messi came out in public and not in as many words said that he wants Neymar and he doesn't want Griezmann at the club. Which player, which captain comes out and says that about a perfectly fine player like Antoine Griezmann? Which captain wants to play Luis Suarez desperately with even though Luis Suarez
No,
cannot score a goal anymore? So
but
I think it's as much
Prasham,
down to Messi trying to be too involved in things as well. I think he's getting too much sympathy for no reason right now.
no, Prasham, like, I personally have no idea about this. I saw the video that you and Prayan made and the full part that, Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta had a certain say in the transfers and all of that. I think Prayan mentioned it. And
Yeah.
now it's only Messi who does have a say. So I think when that full Suarez Neymar Messi partnership happened, it was really good. I mean, you it's like if we lose the likes of Bruno and Pogba tomorrow, your squad is obviously going to change. Like losing Neymar was like that. Neymar wasn't stepping out of Messi shadow. Neymar was his own player at Barcelona as well, and he would have grown at Barcelona as well. I think Barca let him go way too easily.
But he has a release clause. If you match it, he leaves. It's simple. Every Spanish
Yeah,
team
but
has to have a release
that's the
clause.
point, right? That's the point. We
That's the
discussed
point
this
of the full thing.
with people like the PSG
So
owners.
Priyank,
222 million is nothing for them.
222
No,
million was
Prashant,
unpayable until
Prashant,
they
that's my
paid.
point. No, Prashant, that's my point.
It's
No, I'm not saying don't. If you're having Messi at 700 million, right, and you're going to keep Neymar at 220 for someone who's shown that his caliber is way higher than what
But
he is,
Vishesh, we're
and
talking,
probably
nobody goes out and pays 220 million for a footballer. We're living in a crazy
you see
world.
Madrid. You see Madrid when they had the BBC that time. Ronaldo, obviously, I'm not going to
bro,
talk about him.
Ronaldo
Bale had
won it.
Bale had
Yeah,
a 500 million release clause. I think
yeah,
Benzema had a 400 million release clause,
yeah.
No,
and
I
That's
don't
they aren't.
disagree with that. But
Yeah,
also just coming back
but
to the
that's the
point
thing,
I
right?
was
That's the thing.
making, I
The
think
point of a
Neymar
release
leaving the
clause.
club.
The point of a release clause is that you set it
no
at an
one.
amount
Yeah,
where people don't pay. Like it's you don't pay 222 million again. It's in a season where you're paying 100 million, 120 million, 140 million for Coutinho. I think 222 million is not that big of a deal for Neymar.
Again,
It's
like
not.
I come back to that point. The fact that Neymar wanted to leave the club, the fact that he felt that he was not able to shine because Leo Messi was not giving him that space is going back to the problem. Then Messi made that whole hue and cry about him wanting to have Neymar back at the club. Why let him go at the first place? Why not let other players shine as well? So I think Messi is not completely faultless in the decline of Barcelona. I think, yes, he's a great player, but I think at many stages he's taken very selfish and sort of personal decisions that make no footballing sense really. And yeah, I know a lot of people are going to come out and say that, oh, how do you know it? But it's very clear that he is in charge. We've seen that with the Argentine team. There are so many players who don't play in the national team because Messi doesn't like them. And that is appalling. But anyway,
no,
guys, let's
Prashant,
move
it's
back to the
as
Premier
simple as
League.
that,
Let's
right?
just move
That
it back to the Premier League.
there are always two sides to the coin. So I mean, you could be right in your space, and we could be right defending it. Anyways, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, let's move it back to the Premier League, guys. The Premier League's back, 5 days left, 6 days to go. It's exciting times. There are so many changes. What is the one thing y'all are most excited to see? We've already done a video on predicting the table. If y'all haven't seen that, check it out. I think Priyan and Vishesh have come up with some very interesting names to go down, some very interesting teams not to finish in the Champions League, maybe Liverpool. Let's see what happens. But what is the one thing y'all are looking out for?
I
Yeah,
think for
Prashant.
me, it's yeah. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Priyan. Yeah, go ahead, Priyan.
I want to see how Klopp performs specifically. I think, as we discussed earlier, I think it's that season that he's always had that season where he's been phenomenal and then they've sort of just disappeared. So I want to see because they haven't even made the signings to strengthen the team. So I mean, I don't know if they get Thiago or no, but I want to see how they perform with the squad they have now.
Yeah, Rishi?
Yeah, I want to see two things. One is I want to see how United's midfield lines up now. I want to see if Ole is bold enough to push Pogba to CDM and play both Bruno and Van de Beek for the creativity. And the second thing, what I want to see is I want to see if we don't get the two transfers that we're after right now, can Ole pull off something like how Poch pulled it off in the season where they also had no transfers and they performed really well as a unit. And I think that will show some resilience in the team, in my opinion. So these are the two things that I'm looking out for as a United fan.
Vishesh, what
Sure, my
about
head
you?
was going to fall off.
Yeah. Let's not even get into Poch versus
I
Ole,
give,
but Vishesh, what about you?
I'll give three because we're since we're 1, 2, 3. So the first thing I want to see is how Leeds perform. I want to see how Marco
Yeah,
Bielsa does in the Premier League. Can he still pull off the force with which he's going? So I want to see how Marco Bielsa does. Number two, I agree with Brian. I want to see how Jurgen Klopp does. I mean, the wheels seem to be falling off with no transfers coming. I don't think they can have another season of no injuries, especially with the way the games will be back. And from a United perspective, I want to see Ole because if we get those two players, like Rishi has spoken about not getting those two players, I'm talking about if we get two more players. He's probably got 6 players. How many? 8 players into the squad? Yeah, he's got 8 players into the squad. Now I expect him to at least deliver some sort of a trophy at United next season.
if we have Jadon Sancho and let's say a Reguilon or maybe a Jack Grealish or a centre back, and if Ole doesn't deliver a trophy, that is going to be a failure of a season in my view. So that's the first thing. But the first thing that I actually was going to say is what Vishesh said. I want to see El Loco in the Premier League. I've followed him like sparsely throughout in with Newell Old Boys and with Bilbao and all of that, and with Leeds. But like this is the first time I'm going to see him for 38 games. Marco Bielsa, the Bielsa press is coming to the Premier League, and there are these guys, Pochettino, Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho, who literally worship this guy. So let's see what all that is about. Let's see how they perform.
Plus,
But you know what I am interested to see?
plus the Leeds versus United, it's back after 16 years.
I don't care about that. We're gonna thrash them. I'm not even worried. They're not in the same weight class as us anymore. But what I want to see from a United perspective is an informed David De Gea. I was just talking to a friend the other day, and I was just telling him that to watch David De Gea in his prime to make saves is one of the most beautiful things in football. You know, Nick Pope makes those saves, and they don't look particularly good, right? He makes the saves. He'll make the 5, 6, 7 saves in a game. But when David De Gea makes a save, it looks like, oh, like, yeah, its entire body is fully spread out. He's tipped it over the bar. It just looks fantastic. It's absolutely brilliant to watch. And that's all. They'll make ordinary saves look very good.
Is this the kind of porn you watch, Prashant?
The only thing that's always running on Vishesh's mind. But
Guys, I'm surprised no one mentioned Chelsea. I think everyone wants to
I was just coming to Chelsea. So I think Chelsea have two main problems. They've signed so many players, but yet they have the legendary Kepa Arrizabalaga, who is their most expensive signing. Even after they've signed Kai Havertz, he was their most expensive signing. And the second problem is Frank Lampard himself. Any other manager, I'd say Chelsea with this team win the title. With Frank Lampard, they probably have to struggle for that 4th place. Frank Lampard does not know what he's doing. What are his credentials? He got Derby to the playoffs. That's it. He didn't even get them promoted. That is what Frank Lampard has done. He lost to Arsenal in the final. He looked absolutely lackluster. Yes, he beat United in the semis, but Frank Lampard's absolutely useless. Super Frank as a player, sure. That also, 28 ke baad, he decided that he knew how to play football. Before that, Frank Lampard was useless. I don't know if anyone's checked his statistics before that. Absolute useless Frank Lampard. The same thing's going to happen in his managerial career. He's going to be useless for most part, and then he'll win a trophy at the end, and then people will hail him as the greatest English midfielder, better than Paul Scholes.
Oh God, this rant, my God.
Yeah, no, dislike from Tanya is already on its way.
Can you please clip this up for when Chelsea do well in life with Lampard as manager?
And Liverpool, no, guys, clip this as well. Liverpool won't finish in a Champions League spot.
So are you saying Arteta finishes in a Champions League spot?
No, man. Jose Mourinho with Højbjerg.
Chal, bro, I'm leaving. This is the end of things for me. Bye-bye, guys.
So thanks, guys, for tuning in to the 3rd episode of Starcast. You heard it first from us, or you heard it first from me. Jose Mourinho with Pierre Højbjerg and Matt Doherty is going to challenge the top 4. Liverpool aren't finishing in the top 4, and Chelsea and Super Frank Lampard absolutely useless. We'll see you all next week.
This confirms that Prasham is high, and he's had insane amount of alcohol tonight. So yeah.
We'll see, guys. We'll see you all next week, guys. Till then, subscribe to the channel, join our FPL mini league, and watch out. Since the Premier League is back, we're going to be on full swing. Watch out for all our videos, and we'll see you all soon.